The word Agito derives from Latin, meaning to keep going, a title that perfectly captures the core philosophy of Kamen Rider Agito. Throughout the series, characters are not only shaped by changes to their environment and physical bodies, but also by deep emotional and psychological evolution. In Akito, evolution is synonymous with adaptation, a recurring theme that forces individuals to confront transformation. No character embodies this more painfully than Ryo Ahara, who is thrust into becoming an Agito, specifically Kamen Rider Gills, without consent and left to endure the consequences alone. As this series progresses, Ryo's suffering only intensifies. Yet what makes him truly admirable is his unwavering sense of justice and moral integrity despite everything life takes from him. Watching Agito as a child, I felt sympathy for Ryo. As an adult, that sympathy transformed into respect and admiration. His ability to adapt, endure, and continue forward in the face of relentless hardship reflects a quiet maturity rarely celebrated in hero narratives. It is this resilience, this refusal to surrender to bitterness or despair, that ultimately made Ryo Ahara one of my favorite characters. At first, we are introduced to Ryo, who was a swimmer, and after an accident that occurred during a swimming competition, his coach abandons him and kicks him off the team. Not only that, he suffers the repercussions of becoming Nagito, such as his hands shriveling up since his body hasn't physically adapted to the sudden changes caused by Akito's power. When he met his girlfriend, and after trying to protect her, he accidentally turned into Kamen Rider Gills. His girlfriend, witnessing this, was horrified by the grotesque transformation, and it ended up costing the relationship. Despite that, Ryo accepted it with a sense of understanding. He puts himself in her shoes and thought it would be better if he distanced himself than to involve her any further, since it would put her in danger. After fully accepting that he and his girlfriend wasn't able to get back together ever again, he finally takes control of his power and transforms into Kamen Rider Gills for the first time and protects her from an unknown as his final act of kindness. Although life went downhill for him and it wasn't something he was able to control, he controlled what he could. His response to that change. Later on in the show, he then searches and investigates the Akatsuki mystery and the mystery behind Agito. He gets seriously hurt or literally dies and then gets revived again. He either limps as he walks or just gets injured constantly. Although he fights as a lone wolf, it is clear that there's a sense of guilt that he carries despite being pulled into this chaotic mess for no reason. He gave in for the sake of others and carried the weight of the world as he dragged his injured arms and legs to the next battlefield that awaited him. His coach and his girlfriend lingered in his mind as he still couldn't process the trauma he had caused them ever since becoming Kamen Rider Gills. He faces the dark and ugly reality just to protect everyone from the unknown. Then episode 28 rolls around. A kid runs away from pain and emotional turmoil while two men chase him in suits. He bumps into Ryo and he helps the kid get away until he calms down. The kid tells him that his parents died from unknown attacks and he's running away from it. There was an emotional exchange between them in which Ryo tells him essentially that life is full of pain and running away from it doesn't make it go away. This was an accumulation of what Ryo has gone through and the conclusion that he came to after enduring the pain of becoming a lone wolf hero. It was as if he was also talking and reassuring himself deep down that despite his suffering, running away and denying it doesn't make it any better. Despite how difficult life is, don't give up and forge forward. In the end, Kamen Rider Agito reminds us that life does not ask for permission before it changes us. It only asks how we respond. Through Ryo Ahara, the series teaches that pain, loss, and injustice are unavoidable parts of existence, but surrender is not. Ryo never becomes stronger because the world is kind to him. He becomes stronger because he refuses to let cruelty, abandonment, and fear define the limits of who he is. His growth is not loud or heroic in a traditional sense. It is quiet, grueling, and deeply human. What makes Ryo's journey resonate is that his perseverance is not fueled by hope for reward or recognition, He does not fight because he believes things will get better, nor because he expects salvation at the end of his suffering. He fights because choosing to stop would mean allowing pain to consume not only himself, but others as well. In that sense, Agito presents endurance not as blind optimism, but as moral choice. The decision to move forward so that someone else doesn't have to bear the same burden alone. Agito is not about triumphing over suffering. It is about living with it, learning from it, and carrying it without letting it turn into bitterness. Ryo embodies the idea that maturity is not found in overcoming hardship, but in accepting that hardship may never fully go away, and still choosing to act with compassion and integrity. His scars are not symbols of failure. They are proof that he continued forward when stopping would have been easier. To keep going, as Agito teaches us, is not an act of denial. It is an act of courage. It is the willingness to face reality as it is, ugly, unfair, painful, while still believing that one's actions matter. In that perseverance lies a quiet, enduring strength, the strength to adapt, to endure, and to move forward step by step. And in that strength, Agito reflects one of life's most difficult truths, that even when we cannot choose our circumstances, we can still choose to keep going.